Over the years, Topspin has gained the status of an iconic series in tennis gaming. Most of you probably played or at least heard good things about Topspin 4. It's kind of a fan favorite at this point, a game that people tend to bring up when talking about the golden age of tennis games. Some of you might even enjoy Topspin 2K25 today, which released just last year. Personally, I didn't like either of those games too much. I found Topspin 4 to be an overrated game and 2K25 to be a cheap attempt at capitalizing on nostalgia and the reputation of the series. But there is a title in the Topspin series that I actually really enjoyed, and that's Topspin 3. Released way back in 2008, Topspin 3 leaned more into simulation and realism in a way the series, and honestly most tennis games in general, just haven't since. See, Topspin 3 was raw, it was punishing, and it made you actually earn your points, or quite often, lose them. No magnet movement, no arcade bullshit. Like, yeah, sure, it wasn't a perfect game, but it had something that most modern tennis games lost: the feeling of actually playing tennis. So today, let's rewind and take a look back at this underrated gem, what made it stand out, and why I still think it's the best Topspin game ever made. And hey, if you want to grab different tennis games at good prices, make sure to check out my link to Fanatical. Fanatical is a legit store that often has great deals on video games. They are also friends of the channel, so by buying through my link, you're supporting my work. So it's a win-win. When revisiting Topspin 3 in 2025, the first thing you will notice is how well it actually aged. Like, seriously, the game was released 17 years ago. So when judging its graphical fidelity, we have to consider how other sports games looked back then. FIFA 09 still had that shiny plastic look. Pro Evolution Soccer 2009 looked like it never left PlayStation 2 era. And meanwhile, Topspin 3, with its lighting, textures and court details, actually looked and felt next gen. Like, yeah, by today's standards, the faces weren't great even for top players. But for 2008, they were quite good. There were also some nice touches here and there, like players sweating more as the match went on, both on their bodies and t-shirts. These kind of visual details may seem like a small thing, but they added to the feeling of immersion in the game. Oh, and animations? The number of animations actually available for players was quite limited, but the ones in the game were done really well. Players moved in a rather fluid way, and some of the real-life pros had unique animation sets that were well recreated. And while the graphics were really good for the time, one thing that was lacking in Topspin 3 was the presentation. Like, yeah, it was fine, kinda serviceable, but compared to games like Grand Slam Tennis 2, it was definitely lackluster. No commentators, no great atmospheric introduction of players, it was rather bland on that front. The music was also nothing to write home about, just generic music in the background that got stale real fast. So the game was kind of missing the cherry on top. But luckily for Topspin 3, we can forget the lackluster presentation thanks to its really cool gameplay. See, Topspin 3 wasn't perfect here. There were control issues and occasional jank on the court. But overall the game had a really interesting take on how tennis should play in a video game. I think the balance between simulation and arcade was really nicely maintained here. Like, yeah, you didn't have a precise aiming reticle, but you had a lot of control over where the ball would actually go. And for the last time in the Topspin series, the game had actual risk-reward mechanics baked into every single shot. As a result, Topspin 3 gameplay offered both challenge and real satisfaction from winning points. So let me explain quickly how they achieved that effect. See, every aspect of your shot making impacted the result here. First of all, in Topspin 3, you actually had to move your player into the correct position. There was no auto movement or animation logs zooming you onto the ball. Movement required skill and proper reaction, something more like in tennis simulators. Then we had timing, which had significant impact on your shots. Say you timed your shot poorly, it was likely to hit the net, go out, or at the very least be much less powerful, leaving you quite exposed to a winner from your opponent. You could also play aggressive shots thanks to two trigger modifiers. L2 made shots go closer to the line, and R2 made them more aggressive in terms of net clearance and power. Heck, you could even press both modifiers at the same time for that ultimate banger. The thing is, using modifiers was actually risky. If you timed your shot badly, or you were maybe in the wrong position, or perhaps you used an aggressive shot as a response to a really strong shot from your opponent, or perhaps slice, well then it was almost a guaranteed error. And that balance of risk-reward is something I absolutely adore in Topspin 3. I wish these mechanics kinda remained in newer Topspin titles because they made the game feel like you were actually playing tennis. You had to think, you had to react, and you had to be quite skilled to win the matches. And yeah, I get why they removed the complexity and generally simplified future games in the series. Because truth be told, Topspin 3 was not easy to get into. It was actually a pretty hard tennis game. So I bet 2K looked at it and wanted to make the Topspin series more accessible to tennis fans. They probably wanted to reach a wider audience, and commercially it was probably a smart move. But the problem is that in the process of simplifying Topspin gameplay, the games lost this core, essential element of what makes tennis so beautiful. Because after all, risk is an essential aspect of every single shot in tennis. But it wasn't all great and dandy in the gameplay department for Topspin 3. See, controls were a bit clunky, probably to create a sense of heaviness and actual inertia in movement. So it ended up being kind of a mixed bag for controls. Like, sometimes the game felt good in terms of responsiveness, but other times your player didn't react to inputs the way you would expect. I also didn't enjoy serving in Topspin 3. It was kinda weird, like most of the time the serve would go either slightly off or right into the absolute middle of the serving area. Like there was no in between. Kinda weird stuff, right? Also, after Topspin 2, physics in Topspin series became more floaty and slower. It didn't honestly bother me so much here as it did in Topspin 4 or 2K25, but it was something that could have been done better for sure. Next, let's talk about the roster and career mode in Topspin 3. The roster here was rather modest, especially compared to today's standards in games like Tiebreak or Tennis Elbow 4. But despite the limited number, it was quite a nostalgic bunch. Topspin 3 had players like Federer, Nadal, Nalbandian, Blake, Roddick or Ancic. Unfortunately, Djokovic was missing. The female cast was less impressive, with Sharapova being the most known player. Interestingly, the highest rated players are only rated 75 here, which is kinda nice, so that no one feels super overpowered. And then we had career mode, which in Topspin 3 was a very typical career experience for this video game series. From rags to riches in the tennis world, you start with your created player at 30 rating, facing amateurs only to progress higher up in the tennis world. If you played Topspin 4 or 2K25, you know the drill with this career mode. And what I dislike in future Topspin career modes is still present here. You cannot play with real star players. You have to create your own player here. And yeah, I get the point why they would do that, but it takes away the thrill of playing with your favorite star. So that was a big bummer. Luckily, player creator here is quite good in Topspin 3. Nothing groundbreaking, but you get plenty of options to create your favorite avatar in the game. So all in all, Topspin 3 is my favorite game in the series. And I think it deserves more praise for its gameplay mechanics than it ever received. This game had honestly very good gameplay balance. On one hand, it simulated tennis with errors being easy to make and winners being hard to earn. And yet at the same time, I think it was quite fun and gamey tennis video game. See, Topspin 3 required skill and patience, and because of that, the game was also satisfying and challenging in good ways. Topspin 3 also aged very well. Graphics are still very serviceable even today in 2025. In fact, it's kinda sad, how little progress there's been in graphical quality for the Topspin series over the years. And the downsides of this particular game are the typical issues with Topspin games that I have. Limited roster and a career mode that's unrewarding and kinda dull after a while. So, if you're craving some Topspin, but with more simulation feel to it, then I highly recommend you try Topspin 3. You can get it on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, or just emulate the game on your computer. And if you are a fan of tennis games, I think Topspin 3 is worth your time. Now, I want to know, how do you remember Topspin 3? Was it also your favorite game in the series? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. It costs you nothing and helps my content reach more people on YouTube. And if you want to see more videos like this one in the future, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. Anyway, that's all from me in this video. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.